The number one thing I'm looking forward to is the game of the week. I'm talking about Utah, the defending champs, coming to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA, who just knocked off one of the top teams in the AP poll in Washington a week ago in their home stadium. How does this thing shake out? Well, I lean on Chip Kelly, and I love the line he used. He said, quote, "Hope isn't a strategy," end quote. And he's right. This one is all about execution. Utah defensively, they've been executing, and that front will be challenged by the top duo in this league at quarterback and running back. DTR, reigning offensive player of the week in this league, Zach Charbonnet. I think he's the best running back on the West Coast, and in the conversation as the best running back in America. They need to be a top 10 team, because if they're 6-0 and beat Utah, I think they should be a top 10 team. On the flip side, I think Utah's still the favorite in this league. I still think they're the most talented team in this league. If Utah can run the football, they'll be in position to get a huge win against one of the two LA schools on their schedule. Number 1A, B, 2, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's staying in LA. Washington State coming to the Coliseum. Caleb Williams, bounce back. USC offense, bounce back. I'm talking about what they did a week ago against Arizona State compared to the Oregon State game. They get another game at home, and they weren't perfect against the Sun Devils. So a lot to work on this week, and I know this program is dialed. They're going to have to slow down Cameron Ward, who a lot of coaches in this league tell me, man, he might be the scariest guy to face on the opposite side of the ball if you're a defensive-minded coach. This dude can just play. He can deal. And knowing Jake Dickert, this offense, this team is going to let it rip. So if I was going to focus in on one thing in this game, it'd be Caleb Williams and this offensive line of USC, the front seven of Washington State. How do they manage? Can they finish? Can they tackle one of the top quarterbacks in the country? If so, Wazoo has a chance. If not, USC will keep this thing going. Number 3 for me, Oregon going to play Arizona. Now, I get it. We don't have Marcus Mariota. We don't have Scooby Wright. Who wouldn't love that? And you all know about the great plays I'm talking about when those two would face off. But we got talent. We got Bo Nix, pretty gifted player. We got Christian Young, pretty gifted defender. We got a lot of good things happen on both sides of the ball. And for me, the story in this one is going to be the offense of Arizona and their wideouts. They have a trio that I think is as good as anybody in this league. Jacob Cowing, an All-American caliber player. Tetairoa McMillan will be an All-American caliber player. Dorian Singer is making All-American caliber catches. So what's the secondary do of Oregon, like Christian Gonzalez, one of the top 2 corners in this league? How does he slow him down? What is Dan Lanning, a defensive-minded head coach? What does he do to slow it down? This is going to be fun. Number 4 for me is Washington going to Arizona State. UW has yet to win on the road. We saw what happened early in that game against UCLA. A nice comeback at the end, but not good enough. If you want to win on the road, you got to start a little faster than that. And Washington historically has struggled at Arizona State. So how do they bounce back? I think they do with Michael Penix Jr. and Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer has only lost 10 games in his entire career as a head coach, and only once has lost back-to-back games. So take that stat for what it is, and look at this Washington team as a team that I think offensively, that line gets retooled. I think those playmakers will continue to play well. And defensively, where they need to elevate is the back end, and that will be fun. Can Emory Jones and company take shots early down the field? I really believe in games like this, when you've had a head coaching change, the biggest thing that UW has to do is win early, because Arizona State's going to come out confident in front of their home crowd. Number 5 for me, it's late night, 8 o'clock kick. Oregon State will go to the Farm to play Stanford. What excites me about this is you look at who both have played. They've had challenging schedules. Let's talk about Stanford, USC, UW, Oregon, to kick off conference play. How about Oregon State their last 2 weeks? USC, Utah, both on the Pac-12 Networks. Challenging games. And now they face one another. Both teams have dealt with adversity. Both teams are dealing with injuries. Who plays quarterback for Oregon State? We'll find out on Saturday night. How about the offensive line of Stanford? Who's going to play tackle? Kyu Blue Kelly's not going to go in this game. So who can take advantage of matchups? And I think that's what this game is. We're talking about 2 of the best offensive minds in football. David Shaw on Stanford's side, Jonathan Smith for the Beavs. Their coordinators, respectively, are 2 of the best in the game. How are they going to attack matchups? I think we got a chance for a high-scoring game on the Farm. I can't wait, because I believe in both of these programs and cultures, and both teams will be primed to bounce back. And finally, Colorado. Yes, Colorado, they don't have a game this weekend, but what I'm most looking forward to is talking to people in Boulder and asking what it's been like this week. We saw the dismissal of Carl Durrell, their head coach. We know Mike Sanford is now the interim guy. He's met with every player this week Just check in on them. How are they feeling? What are their expectations? What do they hope for the remainder of this season? They'll have practiced by now. They'll be focused by now. I wonder what the vibe is like. If they're able to turn the page and recapture some of that hope that they had in training camp. I believe they will. I look forward to watching this storyline play out as the season continues, and specifically in a bye week, and taking a breath, starting fresh, turning the page, saying, okay, let's go attack each day for what it is. One opportunity to go compete and play the game we love.